The morphology of the flowering plant. Morphology is what? The morphology is basically a name which is given to a science that deals with the study of the form as well as the structure of the thing. Okay, so whatever the particular part of the plant, how it appears, what are the structure, that refers to as the morphology. No matter what plant you take, the morphology of the flowering plant, it always include the root, the stem, the leaves, okay, flowers, okay, and fruits. Flowering plants are one of the most diverse group of the land plant. They consist of almost 3 lakh known species, and these are also known as the angiospermic plant. Angiospermic, why? Because angiospermic are the seed producing, they are the seed producing fruits, or the fruit they or the fruit which have the seed in them. So whenever we look at into the morphology of the flowering plant, we know, or in a simple language, we know that whenever a seed is germinated inside the soil, okay, so we put the water, we put the manure, everything inside the soil. So after that, what happened? It developed into the two structure. Okay, what are the two structure? The first one is known as the plumule, okay, and the second one is known as the radicle. This radicle only it form the root system, which is under the ground, or underground we can say, below the soil, and the plumule they develop into the shoot system. Okay, so whenever we look into the morphology of the flowering plant, the plant has the two system, the root system and the shoot system. The underground part of the plant is called as the root, while the one which is above the soil is known as the shoot. So in this lecture, we will be exploring about the root system. So, what is actually a root? We know that the root is a very important part of the vascular plant. The root help us to interact with the soil. They also help in enabling the plant to get all the essential nutrient, water, vitamin from the soil. Okay, so water used to get all the essential thing from the soil. The root they help to get the water from the soil, and it is also one of the important for the proper growth as well as for the photosynthesis. And the different type of modifications of the root can be seen according to their need and the requirement. Not all the plant they have the root are the under the ground only. Some of the roots, mostly what happen, the roots are usually present underground, but there are some modification based on their requirement, and we can see that some of the root are usually present on the surface also. Such root are known as the aerial root. Okay, so aerial root they provide the nutrient, water, vitamins, and anchor the plant to a wall or to a rock. So we will be exploring more about the root, their characteristic, their type, their structure, everything. So, what is a root system and what are the characteristic of this root system? Now, in majority of the dicot plant, the direct elongations of the radicle, okay, the radicle is there, the seed, it develop into the plumule and the radicle, and this radicle is generally lead to the formation of the primary root, okay, and which grow inside the soil. The root is generally brown in the color, it is non-green, and it is the underground part of the plant. And the root generally they have the branches with them, and this all together make the root system. Now what are the more characteristic of these are the basic characteristic, and some more characteristic of the root is that the chlorophyll is absent in the root, and because of which they are not green in the color. And also the nodes and the internode is absent. The node and the internode, basically it is a feature of what? It is a feature of the shoot system. So these nodes and the internodes are absent in the root. Okay, next is that the root hair is present in the root. So root hair, we know these are the root, and further branching is known as the root hair. So these root hair are just the extension of the epidermal cell only, and they are present on the root, which help in the absorption of the nutrient, because these root hair is used to increase the surface area of the root. Okay, so they help in the nutrient absorption. The roots show the different type of the movement. Okay, what are the movement? First, they are the positive geotropism. Why? Because we know that root used to grow along the gravity, and the gravity is always towards the ground only. So it is positive geotropism, that is the growth of the root is toward the gravity. The positive hydrotropism means the growth of the root is toward the water. Okay, so it is positive hydrotropism. While it is a negative phototropism means the movement of the root is away from the sunlight. We know that below the ground the root is generating, while the shoot system they used to face the sunlight, they faces the light. So the movement of the root away from the sunlight, and this is the characteristic of the root system. And also the root are generally, they are protected by a root cap at the bottom or at the tip of the root, we can say. Suppose this is the root, and at the tip they have the root cap in them, which help as a protection. So the actual tip of the root, it is covered by a root cap, which used to protect the developing tip as it clear its path through the dirt. Okay, and the apical meristem cell is present directly under the root cap. Now let's explore what are the different type of the root system. Basically, there are the two type of the root system. The first one is the tap root, and the second one is the fibrous root. The third one is the feature which is present in the monocotyledonous plant. Okay, so the taproot system, it is present in the dicot plant, and it is developed from the radicle of the germinating seed, and it consists of the primary root. Primary root means they have the taproot. Okay, this is the taproot. Primary root is there, which is known as the taproot, and they also consist of its branches. Some lateral branches are there. Okay, so it is generating from the primary root only, and this is the